Hello my friends, Wayne here for the Let's Play Cat Gaming channel, and today I am going to once again talk about The Walking Dead. Now, as we are just a few short weeks away from the filming of Season 4 in time for an October 2013 air date, it is important to consider the events of Season 3. Perhaps one of the most shocking things to come from the finale, Welcome to the Tombs, was the fact that the Governor is still alive. That fact is going to be the basis for this audio-video vloggity piece, as we are going to talk about who should be the one to kill the Governor and why. While we are talking about The Walking Dead Season 4 and the Governor's potential fate, please enjoy some on-screen zombie slaughter for your viewing pleasure. Now, the first person I'm going to talk about is Daryl Dixon. And let's face it guys, who could be more deserving to kill off the Governor than Daryl? After spending the entire apocalypse looking for his brother thus far, Daryl and Merle were finally reunited. Just when it looked like Merle was going to be accepted as one of the group thanks to Daryl's continued attempts to convince the others that Merle was valuable, Merle ran off and got himself killed. In Season 1, Daryl stated that the only person who can kill Merle is Merle, and the unpredictable Dixon did indeed live up to Daryl's words. However, while it has to be said that Merle did go out in style and Daryl did appear to be handling things quite well in the finale, Daryl is undeniably still out for revenge. There will be no greater climactic finale to the Governor's run in the show than being murdered in cold blood by Daryl Dixon as an act of revenge. The second candidate to take out the Governor in my eyes would be Michonne. Ever since she was given a feature role at the beginning of Season 3, Michonne has shown prowess as a natural-born survivor. The katana-wielding anti-diva is everything that a survivor should be, but in both This Sorrowful Life and Welcome to the Tombs, we saw emotion in Michonne's eyes. Sometimes it is quite easy to forget that these survivors are people too, and Michonne lost a dear friend in Andrea, which resulted in tears. Michonne had been suspicious of the Governor's regime over Woodbury from the very beginning, and she's probably kicking herself knowing that she had the opportunity to kill the Governor and didn't. And in missing her opportunity, she lost her fellow winter survivor and dear friend in Andrea. Much like Daryl, Michonne is definitely going to be out for the Governor's other eye, his blood and his life, and it would indeed be fitting if Michonne was the one to end his life. Now, the third candidate I'm going to talk about is Carl. Perhaps some of the most interesting character development that we've seen in The Walking Dead to date came in the Season 3 finale. While many would argue that the focus was on Andrea, I would go as far as to say that Carl and Rick were the true stars of the episode. Carl has evolved so much since having to kill his mother, and if the finale was anything to go by, it would appear that Rick may be slowly making a new enemy in his own son. Carl was certainly channeling Shane in this episode when he killed a boy who was clearly about to unarm himself, but Carl took no chances and killed the kid. Becoming more ruthless towards the end of the episode, Carl was distinctly angry with his father for bringing the Woodbury survivors back to the prison. One interesting scenario would be Carl heading to Woodbury on his own to take out the Governor. While Carl had a history of wandering off on his own and getting himself in trouble, now that he's more ruthless, more powerful and more cold-blooded, Carl would indeed have everything in his power to catch the Governor by surprise and end the war once and for all with one single bullet to the skull. Now, the fourth and final candidate I'm going to talk about is Rick. Arguably the standoff that everyone was waiting for, Rick versus the Governor, and sadly in Season 3 we didn't get to see it. Although Rick had several opportunities to kill the Governor, including one where they were alone in the same room together, Rick didn't take the chance like Shane or Merle would have done, for example, and it would appear that many, including Carl, see this as a sign of weakness. If Rick had killed the Governor in the barn, Merle and Andrea would still be alive. Perhaps this is Carl's mindset right now, which is why he is indeed channeling Shane. Rick appears to have regained his sentiment in his heart, something that he lost partway into Series 3 when Laurie died, and he did turn away Tyrese and company from the prison. While this is indeed a downfall that has cost the lives of several survivors thus far, I can easily see Rick having a one-on-one standoff with the Governor and killing him in the process. Similarly though, I can see Rick heading to Woodbury alone and losing the fight against the Governor, only to be saved by Carl. Now that would indeed be an interesting scenario. If Rick was to challenge and lose to the Governor and Carl was the one to come in and pop the bullet in his skull and kill the Governor off, what would that mean for the relationship between Rick and Carl? Needless to say, there is certainly not a shortage of worthy candidates to kill off the governor in Season 4, and while the viewers didn't get the closure they were looking for at the end of Season 3, it is indeed very exciting to know that the governor is still out there and planning his next attack, and it is even more exciting to consider the sheer amount of possible candidates to end his life. Please leave your comments below and talk about who you think should be the one to kill the governor and why. As always my friends, thumbs up, subscribe, get commenting and enjoy.